It's still rainy. I'm kind of hoping the rain's gonna die off, which it's supposed to. It kind of died off for a few minutes and now it's back on, but we're in kind of a hub area that I know the big buck we're after, named Blacknose, has been in daylight, but it's usually on a different wind, so we'll see. I did pull a card on the way in that showed him coming back in this direction this morning. So we might actually be bedded on this side of the river. So there's a scrape in here that he said a couple times at daylight. And after this rain, I feel like he might have to come freshen it up. Might bug him if he doesn't. It is about 4 p.m. right now. It is still pretty gross out. We have a food plot here. Kind of. We're not on the food plot. We're kind of trying to catch traveling before they get to the food plot, but either way, we'll see what happens. I probably could actually shoot the food plot, but that's not my purpose today. But if we have to, we will do it. It is pretty nasty out today. Let's go. October 20th. I mean, literally anything can happen. I know there's another buck around. He might just randomly show up again, or another buck might too. But I know they're gonna start laying sign right now. With this cold snap game on. I missed the last weather front when it stopped raining just before dark. Don't miss those. They're really good. That's when I had buck during daylight and a bunch of deer during daylight. So don't miss those. When it stops raining and you're in a good spot. Located on food for the evening. They're coming out. Stay tuned.
All right, so this is the quick breakdown of the evening hunt of October 20th. Rainy all day. The temperature dropped 25 degrees roughly, so it was going to be a hot evening. I ended up getting in a Banks blind here, an enclosed blind, at about 3:30, 4 o'clock that evening. Still rainy, nasty out, and about 6 o'clock is when I started seeing activity, and that was not long after it stopped actually raining. It misted the rest of the evening till about 9 o'clock, but it did die down, and it got deer on their feet big time. But a little after 6, I had the doe come through the back of this opening here, and she zipped through and made some circles. And here I was like, it looked like they were running away or something, but really it was just this buck was actually pushing the doe. So that buck came out in this opening and had his tail up and was following this doe. But I thought it was Blacknose, a buck we've been after here on this farm. And I was like, whoa, it's not. This is a brand new buck I've never seen. Looked like a 9-pointer, but it's, you just never really fully know until you really get a good look at him. It was so fast and furious. But he zipped through, following that doe, and sure enough, they came A couple minutes later, back through this opening, and I had my bow ready in rangefinder, and that doe came scooting across right about in here, and she was super low to the ground, which I thought was interesting. So I don't know if she was actually getting into heat or what. I don't really know. So, and not 20 yards behind her, the buck was grunting and came right out off this point into the opening. Got a range on him and tried to stop him. He stopped and looked back in this direction and got a little better look at him, and I knew I was going to take a shot if he gave me an opportunity. So as he looked back away, following that doe, I drew back, and he stopped right at a tree and started making a scrape broadside. And I rushed the shot big time. I was panicked, buck fever, if you will, big time. Shanked the shot way behind, and he startled and just ran back the way he came. The doe kept going this way somewhere. I don't know where she ended up going.
I just missed that buck. That's a buck I've never seen out here before. Never seen that buck.
But either way, real bummer. And then about 20 minutes later, I had another doe come almost about the same trail, and then she stopped at the arrow that I shot. And she stopped at that arrow for like 10 minutes, smelling, wondering what it is, super curious. And then she started working her way over to this opening here and came right into this little bottleneck of the opening and started feeding on some clover and stuff. And it was a quartering two shot, and I just didn't want to take it. I knew I needed to calm down. I needed to take a good broadside shot, and she ended up getting a little spooky and kind of started walking back this way, and she was broadside, looking back this way, looking forward for the longest time. And this is about 20 minutes after I shot at that buck now, and she stopped there, got a range on her, drilled her right behind the shoulder, center of the chest. It was great.
Smoked her doe. She's dead.
She ran off this direction, and I heard her actually crash, a minute later or so. So I was like, she's dead. So as I was releasing that arrow, though, I had the black-nosed buck come right through. I saw him coming out of this thick stuff in the grass just as that arrow was zipping through that doe. And he would have been too far of a shot, but I mean, it was right as the arrow zipped through this doe, and he walked across this opening here. Couldn't tell if he ran or walked, but giant body. Oh, he's a nice buck. He's not a monster, but it's the buck I've been after, and sure enough, as I shoot that doe, he comes out. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I think it was 6:47 he came through this opening. Like 13 minutes before shooting ends. And so setup worked really well. It was an awesome hunt. made some mistakes. Practice out of your stands. That was a big lesson. You know, my anchor point was all screwed up. I wasn't comfortable. And take your time. You always have way more time to make your shot. Buck was standing there making a scrape. Take your time. It's easy to get panicked, but if you don't have enough time to make a nice shot, it wasn't supposed to work. It's my big lesson. So, happy hunting. Stay safe. Shoot some big deer.